Hi, this is Adekyn with another Grand Ages Rome campaign mission video. This one is the fall of Spartacus revisited using a Flavius character, and we've have a video out there for this particular mission, but we're going to focus on the Flavius and his characteristics and how to play this mission and basically use the Flavius in general. And I'm kind of ripping through these. You might even want to hit pause at some point if you want to actually see the ones I've picked. But the point here is that I took the city and really took it out so that I got both those two biggies, the double religion and the 300 research. The 300 research, of course, is huge for the Flavius. They're all about research and knowledge, and they have some tremendous benefits. You'll see, for example, this Hastati that I'm drafting. In the not too far out, we're going to look at him again, and he's going to be a level 6 without any training. That's because we have this time teaches, so that your troops, with the Flavius, your troops are actually, it's like they're training all the time, and it's really tremendous. It's so easy, like with Hastati, who level up easily anyway. It's nothing to have an army full of level 33 Hastati with a Flavius. And by the way, if you play online against a Flavius, don't hesitate, because if you let him go very long, he's going to have a very well developed army. The other thing we're doing here, I mean, it's just a standard build like you would with anybody, but right here we're going to take advantage of a city talent that I'm trying. For me, it's the first time I've ever tried it, which is employed plebes never become criminals. And we'll take advantage of that by setting up some farming down here, and these farmers are not going to have any other services. They're not going to have any food or anything. They're just going to be employed, and they will not become criminals. And the one thing we will do is give them water to so that there won't be a plague risk. They won't hurt our overall city health. But give them water, and they're perfectly happy with that city talent to sit down there and produce goods all day long for us. And you'll see we can use it in another way later on. But here's another thing about the Flavius. I'm trying to go straight for Patrician build. In other words, we're not going to mess with an insula for that Saturn temple. We're not going. We're even going to put down an inn and a tavern here and staff them immediately with patricians. And the reason we do that is that the Flavius talents, the really strong talents for them. There's a couple where one, you don't need olive oil for your patricians, and the other one is you don't need clothing. So your patricians literally a minimum of food and religion, and they're happy. And so you don't have to um, provide them with anything else, so they're actually easier to take care of than equites. So and they have a talent. Flavius has a talent where the each patrician is worth 10 recruits, just like an equites. So you're getting all the benefits of the equites, but you're getting better production out of your building. So if normally on a military mission like this, when you do an inn and tavern, you would throw down equites houses so you could build up your recruits, but the recruits go up with this, with the patrician houses. Plus, their patrician villas have a discount as one of the talents, so they're cheaper to build. And I also have the talent where an employed patrician will not be a criminal. So, for example, you can see there that first one's employed, the other two are not. But and even though they don't have any food or entertainment yet, as soon as we get that those two, the inn and tavern, going, they won't be criminals any longer, because, well, really for a double reason: they won't be employed and they'll have food and entertainment in this particular case. But at any rate, we keep them employed. So you could have like a temple with a patrician, and he wouldn't need anything else, and he would be perfectly happy. So but it does, you don't want to wear that stuff out, this unemployed is never a criminal stuff, because it does pull down your overall ratings. And you'll see later, I take advantage of this for a long time, and then eventually start to build it back out so the overall ratings go up. But now putting in more religion, and now getting ready for the warfare part, the two equites will staff weaponsmith and a stable. And you'll see, of course, you have to have the weaponsmith to get your barracks and academy to work, and you'll see why I put in the stable. The stable, for me on this map, is very important. I've actually played this map several times now, just trying to think of the best way to kind of cover the Flavius, and you definitely want to have a one good fast unit, namely a cavalry unit, to go around and do some things for you. Now we're targeting Praetorian, so even checking how many research do I have to do to get to Praetorian, because I want to have a Praetorian army based on Praetorians. And so up here we're going to take advantage of that city talent again. We're going to put down a couple of insulae, and we're going to get our iron mines producing, and just give them some water. And I'm going to put a nice fountain in here and get it centered, so later on if we choose to build out that area up there, we got that option. But we definitely want to give them the water so we don't end up with the plague. So now I'm going to draft up the cavalry unit, and still targeting Praetorian. And there's really not a lot. See, you see, I'm trying to get to a library. That's the other thing about the Flavius. Their whole thing is about those research points, because if you have high research points, those research points, of course, get you through your research quicker. Well, you have a couple of options up in the front, a couple of talents, and one of them is that every time you complete a research, you get 200 denarii. So the research actually is what gets you your bonus starting money. So that fuels your early economy. Then after you get all your research done, or any time that you're not actively researching, your research points can be applied to both getting you more wealth. In other words, you are creating money from the research, and at the same time, all your troops are leveling up. So right there, those hastati, even though they're not training, they're leveling up as we speak, because their time is teaching them. And if I were to shut down my research, their level up process would be even faster, because then they would be getting the additional bonus for the knowledge is power, I think it's called, where the research points are then applied to training. So, and this is all automatic. You don't have to think about it. That's another thing that makes Flavius so strong. I think they'd be a great online choice, because the army gets stronger and stronger, and you don't even have to think about it. You can be off doing other things. And there you can see I'm targeting, now that I've got the Praetorian, I'm targeting the library, because I want to boost my research. Those research points are really big. One thing I should have gone back and done, I've got also the schools generate double. I should have built just a regular school as well to get research points, so shame on me for leaving that out. Now down here, part of the strategy is to take advantage of those cavalry who can move quickly, and go down here and set up an outpost, and for a couple of purposes, and that's why I'm kind of fumbling around here. I'm trying to find the right place to put it, and I decided it needs to go over this way, because what I want to do is go from there, leapfrog over and pick up that marble with a slave, and then build a fort down here, so that I cut off that enemy camp down there. So once we get that fort built, I don't have to worry about that southern pass at all. It'll be blocked off by my fort, and that way I can focus my troops to the north and kind of do a clockwise, if you will, sweep of all the enemy, and not have to worry about bouncing back and forth trying to react to attacks from the south. It's the same thing. I think we covered that on the other Spartacus video, but in this one, just being more aggressive and going down and building the fort. Now I am playing the expansion, and here I take advantage of one of the expansion capabilities, which is Philosopher's Treatise for 200 authority plus 4,000 denarii. I can force the completion of a research. So if you have a big long one that you really want, in this case Praetorian, which usually takes a long time even with fairly high research points, I can force it to complete right away. And now I've got my Praetorians, I can start recruiting them. And the other thing we'll do is focus that research now back on a couple of things. You want the when you're playing Flavius, you definitely want the Philosopher's Academy. The Philosopher's Academy takes whatever your research is in total and doubles it. So it's just huge. It's like building all those other buildings again. It's tremendous, and it's kind of the holy grail of buildings for the Flavii, because then that double research, remember, even when you're completely done with all your research, which is a huge advantage because it gives you so many options, but beyond that, now you've got all that knowledge is being turned into power. In other words, your troops are leveling up even with you doing nothing with them, and you're gaining money from your research. So it's all about the knowledge with the Flavii, and and of course, everybody needs a pier in the middle of their farm field. So I had to try to build one, but that didn't work so well. So now it's just finishing off. I've got this lower passage basically taken care of. I've got a nice little compact fort down there that will just rain our arrows down on anybody who comes near it. And now I'm going to target, once I get those 2 melee upgrades so that my troops can move and fight a little bit better, I'm going to target the mine upgrade, because I'm going to need more iron in order to get another Praetorian squad. So you just kind of target your research anytime you play any of these. You target your research to what is it, what do I need, what am I after. And so now we've started training for the first time. You can see that Hastade's already at level 6, and then we've just now hit the training button for the first time. So and you do training because it of course just adds more speed. You level up even faster. And the other thing about it too, I've also got that talent called master training, which is basically you could take like a level 32 Hastati and train them to level 33. There's no limit on how high you can train. And up here, remember, we set up that iron camp, and they sat up there by themselves for a long time. Now we're just going up and saying, let's just go ahead and give them a nice community. So you can see, once you have good facilities and you've got a nice building pattern that you like, and you understand the concept of how you need to arrange buildings to get the most out of them, you can just quickly, just in like a matter of minutes, build a nice community. And I've also got another community down here. I've got one up here for the mining. I've got my starting one. I've got another one down here to get a port going. If you do the ports with this map, make sure you use a lighthouse and search for new routes, because the ones that start are lousy, but you can get some pretty good you can trade marble, you can trade goods, you can trade slaves, provided you have done the search for a new route. So now you got that's a very, very profitable community up there now, instead of just a couple of farmers. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it helps you play the Flavius.